Welcome to Frederick at its best. I'm Frederick County Executive Jan Gardner, and I'm joined here today by a whole crowd of people, and we're gathered to celebrate and honor Black History Month in Frederick County. And we're holding this as a joint proclamation with the city of Frederick. This is a special time to honor African Americans and their contributions to our community and our society. The story of Black History Month began in 1915, half a century after Abraham Lincoln submitted the 13th Amendment to abolish slavery in the United States. The Harvard-trained historian Carter Woodson and the prominent minister Jesse Moreland founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, an organization that was dedicated to researching and promoting the achievements of Black Americans and other people of African descent. Known today as the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, the group sponsored a National Negro History Week beginning in 1926, choosing the second week of February to coincide with the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass. In the decades that followed, the mayors of cities across the country began issuing yearly proclamations to recognize Negro History Week. By the late 1960s, in part due to the civil rights movement and to a growing awareness of Black identity, Negro History Week evolved into Black History Month on many college campuses. President Gerald Ford officially recognized Black History Month in 1976. Since then, every American president has designated the month of February as Black History Month and endorsed a specific theme. This month, we celebrate well-known African American leaders and heroes. It's the 200th birthday of Frederick Douglass, a well-known orator and minister, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Harriet Tubman of the Underground Railroad, and we certainly honor her in particular here in Maryland, and she has a museum on the Eastern Shore that's worth going to see if you have an opportunity. Rosa Parks, nicknamed the First Lady of the Civil Rights. We don't want to forget W.E.B. Du Bois, Jackie Robinson, Thurgood Marshall, Benjamin Banneker, Clarence Mitchell Jr., Hosea Henson, Matthew Henson, and the list goes on and on. And of course, we want to recognize some local leaders. We certainly don't want to forget Lord Nickens, a local man of conviction, a veteran, a civil rights leader, and a humanitarian, who was a longtime resident of Frederick. Lord Nickens served 22 years as the president of the Frederick County National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. And the legacy of Lord Nickens is actually highlighted in this month's edition of the Frederick magazine. And if you haven't read this article, it really talks about the legacy of Lord Nickens. And I certainly feel honored to have known him and to have known that he advocated for all people, all human beings, and participated in some of our public processes, even well into his 90s. We also recognize local leaders such as Dr. Ulysses Bourne, Frederick's first Black physician, Joy Only, one of the first Blacks to integrate Frederick High School in 1958, and the author of A History of Blacks in Frederick County. We also want to recognize Claude DeLauder, who was Frederick's first Black alderman who was elected in 1973, followed then by William Bill Lee, who was the second African American alderman, then Bill Hall, who served not only as an alderman, but also on the Frederick County Planning Commission. And we're pleased to see that today we've recently elected two new Black leaders on the City of Frederick Board of Aldermen, Roger Wilson and Derek Shackelford. Certainly, time doesn't allow us to recognize every distinguished Black leader or mover and shaker from Maryland and Frederick County, but we are thankful for those who are continuing to make history on a daily basis and to shape a positive future for our county. There are so many activities planned during the month of February to honor Black History Month, and I want to just mention a few. The film screening of Laboring Sons Memorial Ground documentary will be shown at the Frederick Visitor Center on February 8th from 6 to 8 p.m., and that event is co-sponsored by the African American Resources, Cultural and Heritage Organization and the Tourism Council of Frederick County. There'll be a book signing and a talk by the author Ed Malaskis of John Brown to James Brown, The Little Farm Where Liberty Budded, Blossomed, and Boogied, on February 11th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. at the Sieber Arts Public Library here in the city of Frederick. Vivian Fisher, who is the manager of the African American Department at the State Library Resource Center, will still share stories about African American women who were instrumental in shaping the civil rights movement. Her presentation, titled Making a Difference, African American Women of the Civil Rights Movement, will be at the Sieber Arts Public Library on February 15th from 7 to 8 p.m. You can go to the Frederick County Public Library website, which is fcpl.org, for their other movie nights and events that will be held at public libraries around Frederick County. So our guests today will have an opportunity to introduce themselves and speak shortly, but I would like to invite Council President Bud Otis and City Mayor Michael O'Connor to join me in issuing a joint proclamation for Black History Month. And with that, I'll turn it over to you, Bud.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to issue this proclamation. Whereas in 1976, February was designated as National Black History Month and was formally adopted to honor and affirm the importance of Black history throughout our American experience. And whereas the history of people of African heritage goes back thousands of years, including some of the greatest, most advanced, innovative societies in the history of human existence that we can draw inspiration from. And whereas Black History Month is a time for all Americans to reflect on the rich history and teachings of African Americans whose contributions were vast and wide, to remember those who took a stance against prejudice to build lives of dignity and opportunity, and those who advanced the cause of civil rights and strengthened families and communities. Whereas Frederick County and the City of Frederick are dedicated to the principles of fostering civil and human rights for the citizens of Frederick County and encourage reflection on the rich history and teachings of African Americans and bearing witness to the progress, beauty, and achievements that have been made throughout our community. And whereas it is fitting to set aside a special time to acknowledge this important segment of our community and their history. Now, therefore, as the County Executive of Frederick County and as the President of the Council and as the Mayor of the City of Frederick, we hereby proclaim February 2018 as Black History Month in Frederick County. Encourage all residents to join in celebrating Black History Month by participating in educational events honoring the traditions and contributions of African Americans. I'd like just to add one note. In my lifetime, I was really impressed with the opportunity that I saw Dr. King take to change the course of our country. Few people have that opportunity, and he did it. He got rid of a lot of hatred, and I really was inspired by his life and his dedication to the principles that we're all created equal. Mayor?
So thank you very much. I think there's something important and symbolic about the joining of the city and the county in issuing this proclamation this year, because it really shows that unity is what we need as a community if we're going to overcome the challenges of our past. And as a community, we need to celebrate and tell all our stories, because all of our stories are part of our history. And as a leader in a community, I think we recognize that until the civil rights of all of our residents are treated equally, then we have not really achieved the dream that has been set forth for us by so many inspirational Black and African American leaders in our community and across our nation. And so I'm pleased to be joined today by members of the Board of Aldermen, our President Pro Tem Kelly Russell, Derek Shackelford, Roger Wilson, and Donna Kazemchek, and we couldn't be happier to be a part of this joint proclamation, the first one that I can remember in my time as an elected official in the city of Frederick. So I think it's a really important statement, and we couldn't be happier to be here to share that with you. And we issue a proclamation from the city with the Board of Aldermen on behalf of all of the residents of the city of Frederick. So thank you very much.
Thank you, and I'm now going to pass the microphone so that you can each add your comments and introduce yourselves.
Good morning. My name is Mary Lee. I am the chair of the Frederick County Human Relations Commission. I want to thank everyone for being here today. I truly want to thank the city and the county for continuing to support the diverse community and your promotion of each race and culture. And this holiday or this month is truly important to me for my side of the family, and for those that I know, as well as the residents here. And I apologize, I'm losing my voice, so I'll just cut this short, but I just want to thank everyone for being here today.
Roger Sokoviak from the Human Relations Commission, delighted to be here today to join in this special day and special month.
Hi, I'm Alderman Kelly Russell from the city of Frederick, and I wanted to mention one person in particular that he's still here with us. Stephen Gordon was the right-hand man to Lord Nickens, or they were each other's supporters. And Stephen, while not necessarily as out there in the public as Lord Nickens was certainly and continues to be a terrific leader in our community. And so he's sort of the more quiet guy, but he's out there and he's still working for the equality of all. So I just wanted to mention his name. Thank you.
Good morning. Sorry. My name is Elizabeth Chung. I'm the Executive Director of Asian American Center Frederick. While AACF is, driven a lot, to serve the immigrant community, I'm so proud. And I can cry, basically, because this is really a beloved community. Been here for 24 years, and seeing that the diversity and the leadership and the support, it's just really real that we all work together as a beloved community. I remember working with Lotta Lickens also, down some 20 years back. So today, I'm being inspired by our county exec. As an immigrant serving agency, we also teach a citizenship class about the civics, about this Constitution. I think I'm going to add that another civic lesson. So I'm asking for the volunteer, perhaps that I grab this opportunity to be our volunteer and share with us the rich history, of our country, of our counties, and as well, so that new immigrants like ourselves be able to integrate and learn and what Americans are about. Really, we continue to uphold the ethos of our country that we are so proud to become part of. So I want to thank really the community to give us this opportunity, welcome us. We have so much similarities than differences. We love our country, our families, our friends, right? So it's just great, our Frederick counties. So I better pass my mic so that I can have. So thank you so much. We celebrate this wonderful, Black History Month. It is just an honor to be here.
Thank you. Alderwoman Donica Zemchak. I would just like everyone, if you have a chance, take a look at yesterday's Frederick News Post. One of our city planners has a piece in there about the African American community in Frederick, and it's a great piece. They do a great job, our historic planners. So take a look at that. I think that it will help you understand Frederick better. Thank you. I'm proud to be here.
Hi, MC Keegan-Air. I'm the Vice President of the Council. I am thrilled to be here again. This is a great opportunity to recognize important African Americans in our community and what they gave to our community. I think it's important that we have so many elected officials here because I think many times, particularly in divisive times, the community looks to their leadership to see how we embrace the diversity in our community, how we embrace and include all aspects of our community. And so I think it's awesome to see so many people here who are in leadership positions, and I look forward to more diversity in our leadership positions. And with that, I will turn it over to our new alderman.
Thank you. Derek Shackelford, City of Frederick Alderman. Thank you to the city and county for this proclamation. I think it speaks volumes of the recognition. I'd like to not only highlight and recognize the national leaders, but the local leadership, but those names and faces who are oftentimes nameless that have contributed so much to our communities, whose names we may not even recognize. I would also like to highlight the various events that are going on within our city and county this month for educational purposes and for enrichment and for historical purposes. I think it's incumbent upon us to continue to learn about the history and the contributions that have been made, and also just right down the road, the African American History Museum in Washington, D.C. So I'm honored to be here, and when we talk about the word diversity, we need to understand it's about building community. And it's not only diversity, it enriches us and makes our lives better, but it's also about building a better community for all.
Yes, I'm Alderman Roger Wilson, and I am so honored to be here and privileged to be here. And I thank the county and the city for this proclamation. You know, I often reflect on my time when I moved here to Frederick, and there were a couple of individuals that mentored me, and they have passed on. But I would just like to recognize today Mr. George Dredden, who was a businessman here and was a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and also Dr. Earlene Thornton. She was instrumental and very, very influential in the community. She served her time on the Board of Education, the Board of Elections.
And the Board of Education.
And the Board of Education, yes. So she was very busy in the community. So thank you again, and I'm glad to be here.
I'm Lieutenant Joe Hayer, representing on behalf of the City of Frederick and the Frederick Police Department, and thank you for including me.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Barker Fry. I'm happy to be here representing the Office for Children and Families and Citizen Services Division.
All right.
Hello, I'm Danielle Haskin. I'm here representing Chi Theta Omega, Frederick County's chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, as well as Frederick County Social Services Board, and thank you very much for having me.
Good morning. I'm Wayne Howard, the Human Resources Director for the county. I'm happy to work for a government and a county executive that embraces diversity and inclusion.
Good morning. This is my first time being here. I'm Melvin Robert Hebron, and God bless all of y'all in here, in Jesus' name. I'm from Sugar Land, Maryland, on the other side of Poolsville. I graduated from Poolsville High School in 1967, went in the Army in 69 and started boxing. I was all-Army champ, 147 fights in 3 years. Wow. God bless y'all.
Thank you. Cavante Duckett, member of Mountain City Lodge number 382, where Mr. Bernard Brown, who was our exhorter ruler for over 50 years, and so I honor him today, and Mr. Gary L. Rollins, owner of Gary L. Rollins Funeral Home, the one and only black funeral home in Frederick County. He's doing great work in this area, and I appreciate him for in 2011, he gave me my first start and my first job. And so without him, I might not be where I am today. So I honor him and Mr. Brown for the work that they are doing and will continue to do in our county.
Hi, I'm Tom Barrett, represent sort of a UUCA Social Action Committee, and I'm grateful we could share this time together.
I'm Marie May, and I'm with Carrollton Manor DAR, and I thank you very much.
I'm Mary Lou Barrett, and I'm here with the UU and also with Harriet Chappell. I'm here out of respect for the wonderful things that the black community has done here and to be supportive, and bless you all.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Brannon. Today I'm here as a mom because Black History Month and teaching our kids about the true history of this country is the most important thing we can do to move this country forward.
I'm Andrew Duck. I'm honored to be here today. Thank you for allowing me to participate. And I want to make sure that we recognize the rich history and contributions of African Americans here in Frederick County and across the state of Maryland. But also remember that even in divisive times, we belong to one United States of America, and it is in what unites us that's more important than what divides us.
Hi, I'm Pat Fleet from the Human Relations Department of Frederick County, and I'm very happy to be here.
Hi, I'm Sydney Sykert, and I'm here representing Councilmember Jessica Fitzwater and Councilmember Jerry Donald.
I'm Annette Breeling. I'm treasurer of the Human Relations Commission, and I'm a fan of Martin Luther King. And
so we are.
The two go together very well. The mission of Human Relations Commission is threefold. The first is to promote equal opportunity. And Martin Luther King was a huge promoter of opportunity for all. The second part of the mission is human justice, promoting human justice. And Martin Luther King said, injustice to one of us is a threat to justice for all of us. And he was a huge leader in bringing justice to African Americans and to all people who were experiencing injustice. The final part of the mission of Human Relations Commission is promoting multiculturalism. And this is the kind of event that supports multiculturalism that I'm always happy to see in Frederick County.
Okay. Thank you all for your comments and your reflections on our past and our present. I really appreciate all of you being here today to celebrate with us for Black History Month. I do want to share a little story to honor Lord Nickens, who really is a great example of a champion of justice with the work that he did throughout his entire life. So he's known for his work in the civil rights time period in this community, but he really never ended there. He lived his whole life about civil rights and human rights. So back in 2007, 2008, the county commissioners were having a public hearing on their legislative package, and there was a proposal to deny people in our community who were not legally present county services, including public education. And we had this at City Hall because this room was under renovation. And we had picketers, we had a crowded room, we had a lot of people I didn't know. I was chairing that meeting, and I thought, how will I set the right tone? How will I maintain calm and order? And lo and behold, there was Lord Nickens in the front row with his walker. And so I said to my colleagues, I said, can we let him speak first? They didn't know who he was, but they said, sure, we'll let him speak first. So he came up and spoke first, and I offered to take the microphone to him, but he wanted to come to the podium. And what he said was incredibly moving. He said, I never thought I would see this again in my lifetime. He said, 90 years ago, he said, my parents moved from Virginia to Maryland so I could go to school because as a Black child, I was denied education in the state of Virginia. So he said, never deny children education. It was basically wrong. And then he asked us to love one another, and he said, and it should be guppy love. I remember him saying the words guppy love, and those of you who knew him knew he talked about guppy love, and that we really needed to just love each other and get along with each other and respect each other. And so I will never forget the tone that he set that night, because his comments definitely impacted the crowd, definitely calmed the whole place down, and really set the tone for a civil dialogue among people with different opinions, and I'll always be grateful to him for that. So we are here to recognize Black History Month and to honor the African Americans who have made benchmarks in a variety of areas of achievement, whether it's been government, law, diplomacy, the military, science, medicine, sports, literature, and many other fields. We'll continue to recognize the heroes and champions of justice in our own community. And we all need to work together every day to make sure that we work for a future where no person is judged by their color or their background or any other discriminating factors. So thank you for joining us this month. I hope you'll take part in one of the many events that are going to happen throughout Frederick County in honor of Black History Month. Thank you for joining us.